Hey, my name is Rija. I'm one of the founders of We Don't Need Roads. We're here today at Station F, where I'm giving a workshop about how to become a future-proof brand.
Okay guys, good morning. Thanks for coming in. So as I was saying, I'm going to be speaking in English, even though I'm French, and most of you are speaking in French over here in Paris, but for the replay, I've been asked to do the presentation in English, which I hope is going to be fine for all of you guys. My name is Rija. I'm one of the founders of We Don't Need Roads, and I'm very happy to be with you today to talk about future-proof brands. I hope you're in the right session. So before going into what is We Don't Need Roads, usually we start a presentation introducing ourselves. So you might wonder, who is this guy and why is he going to be talking about brands? But I hate to be like spreading my pedigree, so I was like, let's connect more on a personal level. So I'm going to tell you more about fun facts about me, which I hope is going to give you a bit of perspective on who I am. So I used to be a gamer, and lately I've become a streamer because I've been DJing for 20 years and I'm streaming on Twitch. The reason why I started streaming is because when I was working for Shadow as a brand and communication director, I was introduced to Twitch and to Discord and to all these things. We're using Reddit, we're using to do our communication and branding. And I fell in love with what it was, and I was like, yeah, maybe there's something for me. And then the lockdown came, you remember that 2 years ago, and my friends wanted me to share some music, so I started to stream on Twitch. So I've been told I'm part of the 1% of the channels on Twitch. So yeah. I used to work at Google for 5 years. And the fun fact is, things I'm very proud of, is one of the projects I had when I was working at Google was working with Ubisoft, and we created a software that was able to translate hieroglyphics using AI. And now it's part of Google Arts and Culture, but it was a project we initiated together with Ubisoft, so that was pretty exciting. And now, since 2 years, I've been founded We Don't Need Roads, which is a positive impact studio. I will tell you more about this later. The reason why I'm here speaking to you is I'm a brand lover. I've been in brand strategy, brand building for the past 15 years. But I'm also here because I had a sort of wake-up call 2 years ago that I've been dragging behind me for the past 7 years when my first son was born. But I've been like, yeah, it's fine, we're okay. And for like 3 to 4 years, I was fine with it, but it was in my mind. And then 2 years ago, you know, it was too much, and I was caught up by the campus brigade. They're like, yep, something has to be done, and we founded We Don't Road with this idea of time is running out, and we need to move into bold moves. So I'm the maker of pretty storytelling. So when we say we don't need pretty storytelling, we do need bold moves, is we need both, right? If we only go for pretty storytelling, it won't work, right? So we need to connect pretty storytelling with bold moves. And that's why we want to talk about the brand and why brand is going to help you do that, right? What we believe in We Don't Need Roads is that we are in the era of sustainable economy, right? So probably won't teach you that right now, but planet has limits, you know that, right? We need to change the way we operate, and companies need to adapt to survive. This adaptation will come from rethinking the way you operate, starting with the brand. What we do as We Don't Need Roads is we support entrepreneurs to transition with robust sustainable plans, and to scale this positive solution faster, right? As the founder, I'm responsible for our pillar that is dedicated to scaling positive impact solution, but I'm also working on the transition pillar that I'll be talking after that. So we are here to build and scale climate positive businesses. Quickly, we are 4 founders. I'm one of them. We all come from the corporate world, advertising agencies, big corporations like P&G, tech companies like Google, working from Paris, from the US, from the UK, from all around the world. Also startups, as I said, I worked for Shadow for 1.5 years. Next 40 scale up that have been bought by OVH, that is over there. And we are all activist entrepreneurs. That's how we call ourselves. That's our positioning. That's our mindset. and we are here to change the economy for good by scaling positive impact. The way we operate is very simple. We are a team of 12 or 13, I think, today. Some of them are here, 3 of them are here. Hello. But the way we operate to actually be agile and efficient all around the world is we have an ecosystem that we call the pack, an ecosystem of experts that we collaborate with, creating hybrid teams on projects, bringing the expertise that we need to complement our expertise to bring the project together and deliver what we need for you guys. As I was saying, 2 pillars of action. The first one is transition, where we work with companies that are creating negative impact with their core business. We're thinking about how they should be doing it to reduce this impact or hopefully create positive impact. And then scale. Scale is the pillar that I'm leading, that is all about accelerating every positive impact solution that already exists. And this is in that pillar specifically that we are helping. Last one on us, and then I will talk about the topic of the day. We've been here for 2 years, 20 years, no, but 2 years. 150 missions, a lot of logos on the side, but that's enough about us. So, we are here to talk about future-proof brands. One of the first convictions we have at We Don't Need Roads is that everything starts with the brand. What I hate the most, and hopefully if you want to be, having a great chat with me, you won't say that, is when I say brand, people hear branding. When I say brand, people hear marketing. No. When I say brand, I'm talking about the foundation of a company, right? Because it all starts with your brand. The brand is your compass. It's your North Star. When you think about brand, I'm talking about brand platform, right? I'm talking about your why. I'm talking about your purpose. I'm talking about your mission. I'm talking about your promise. I'm not even talking about your logo or your name or your colors. This is down the road. I'm talking about really knowing why you're here. Really understanding why we are working together as a company. Really be clear about the impact we want to make. All right? And that's why we are talking about brand when it comes to positive impact. It's the strategic basis for everything you guys are doing. From, of course, marketing, communication, that's the obvious one. But then think product roadmap. How do you decide what's in and what's out if you don't know why you're here? Think HR. How do you decide who's in and who's out if you don't know how you function and what's your culture? Partners. Who are you partnering with? Right? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell. Why? Because they're giving you a lot of money? No, that's not the only reason. And so on and so forth, right? So that's why the brand is so essential. What's interesting is when we start looking at some examples, like Rija, for instance. Rija is by essence the anti-marketing company. Anti-ads. They say, I think there's a page saying anti-ads. Or no ads, no. The page is called Rija, no ads company. The reason why they say this is because the way they created awareness about the brand was not by using ads. They're creating amazing products coming from a true reason why. And it starts with this very simple observation. 70% of the cost of a normal big sneaker brand is related to advertising. And they were like, that's stupid, because the whole point is to make great sneakers. By the way, I'm a sneakerhead, so sneakers is important to me. I stopped buying sneakers for the past 2 years. It's been itching a little bit, but I'm working on it. But Rija is interesting. They were saying, okay, Nike, Adidas, when they're doing this, the way they're going to launch sneakers is by using 70% of the budget of the sneaker on selling it to you. You should buy the sneaker, it's amazing. And I'm like, no, what I want to do is create a product that is so amazing, quality-wise, impact-wise, design-wise, that when someone is going to wear it, they're going to be like, ooh, what is that? And then Luca is going to tell me, Rija is going to tell me, what you should know about this is one, touch it, feel it, wear it, and what you should know is that it's zero impact, right? And then the story you're telling, because the story is so clear, because the brand is so clear, is going to make me want to buy the shoes. Not because I have an amazing logo and a great advertising all around the world, because I am clear on the reason why I'm here. But then, every time I'm talking about the brand, yes, people are asking me about what's the MVP I need to add on my brand to go out, da 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 da. What I always say is, yes, you probably need a name. Because when you say brand, you go back to branding. The history of brand is branding was on the cow. To say this cow is mine. So you need to recognize your own cow, right? Yes. But it's very simple. It's like you need a name, probably a font, colors, and you're done. Back market is interesting, right? Because if you look at this one over here, or this one over there, basically you recognize the back market because you recognize the font and the name, and you're done. The other thing that is making back market, and this is why also brand is important, is they are very clear on their language. How they're going to interact with another human being. When you go on the back market website, it's full of jokes. So I'm not saying you guys should do jokes, huh? What I'm saying is you should be very clear about your tone. How are you interacting with other human beings? My tone is very simple. I'm pretty casual, I make jokes, and I speak loud. Lucas is laughing because he's been working with me for too long and he knows how I'm operating. But yes, but I'm clear on that. And I've been searching for it for numerous of years, I can tell you. And I've been helped by other people saying, you should be more of this, more of that. I was wondering, should I be wearing colors? No, wearing, you know, all those questions you asked for yourself, you should ask for your brand. Because that's how people are going to recognize you, that's how they're going to be interacting with you, and this interaction is very important as well. But it has nothing to do with your logo, it doesn't have to do with colors. Yeah? Now, we talked about brand. But why are we calling it future-proof? Because, like it or not, the world is changing. And I think when I was saying that a year ago, it was a bit different. Now when I'm saying this, people know what I'm talking about. Because you look outside the window and you've been knowing that it hasn't been raining for the past 3 weeks. Something is changing. You know about what? You know about all the things that are happening in the world right now. I won't be naming it right now because it's a pretty positive workshop right now. But yes, the world is changing. The question, are you changing? And if you're not changing right now, you're probably going to disappear. If you're not into thinking about how do I reduce my impact or how am I creating positive impact, there's something that is going to be challenging you in the next couple of years, let's say. IPCC is very clear about this with the latest reports. And the adaptation that we need to operate right now with the economy is what we call becoming future-proof. Not future-proof as in, I don't care about what's happening. I'm bulletproof. No, future-proof as in, I'll be around in the next 15 years because I have adapted to what's going on right now. I have taken into account what's around me, the challenges that have, arisen in front of me. I need to integrate that. Now, when we say future-proof, why on earth brand matters when it comes to positive impact? First thing is, another personal story. When I decided to move into purposeful, businesses, the first question I asked is, do we have anything to bring to that matter? And I felt like a fraud, it's like I'm the marketing com guy with brand, background. Why on earth am I important? What can I bring? And I did this training at Harvard for 3 months, and the thing I discovered is 70% of the class was on purpose-driven companies. 70% of the class. It was a class about sustainable business strategies, by the way. That was the name. Sustainable business strategies. 70% was about purpose-driven companies. 70% was about purpose. What is your purpose? And I was like, I've been writing and creating purpose for companies for 15 years. There's probably something I can do about this. Why is it important? Because what we know, and there's a lot of studies showing right now, studies from Kantar, for instance, they're showing that brands that are committed to purpose grew 2.5 times more than brands that are not committed to purpose, right? Because people start to wonder, they start to ask the question, they start to really look at you and be like, why are you here? Are you doing something good for me? Are you doing something good for us? Otherwise, I might go for the other brand, right? Bain, the image over here, what he's saying is that people are looking for elements of value. I like this notion of elements of value. And when you look at that pyramid, from fundamental functional elements, and then of course what is making a company different, when you go up, you go for life-changing elements and social impact elements. So realize that within what your company is doing, not just what your company is standing for, but what your company is doing, people are looking for elements that go beyond your, what's my product to that, right? What are you bringing? There's different, like reduces anxiety, of course there's the idea of belonging, and then there's the idea of social impact, right? So again, positive impact. The last thing is interbrand. So if you like brands and branding, Interbrand is one of the reference in the world with the best global brands index that they've been doing for years. What's interesting is the latest ranking. One of the things that was behind the new and top ranking brands was the idea of direction. Set a clear direction. Because if you don't have a clear direction, especially when you're a startup and then you're looking to scale up, and I've done a scale up, Shadow, and when I arrived, they opened in the US, they wanted to open in South Korea, and then they're like, I don't understand. People are not working in the same direction, they don't speak the same language, they don't behave in the same way. And then when we're going out in PR or advertising or even talking with partners or investors, it was not the same brand, it was not the same company. And that was not working. So when you're thinking about scaling, at every level, if you're not clear on why you're here, if you're not clear on who you are, it's going to go astray. People are going to do their own thing, they're going to do their own version of your brand. Oh yeah. We don't roads in the US, yeah, I think it's that. No, you don't think it's that. This is who we are. You can adapt to your local culture, but you need to be clear on the foundation. That's why you need a clear direction. That's why you need a brand. Now, maybe you're starting to think, Rija is, the sustainable guy, he's talking about future-proof brands, and he's going to tell me, you need to become Patagonia. No. Please don't become Patagonia. I mean, down the road, yes. But if I'm telling you that, I'm setting too high of a standard, and you won't do it. You will stop right now. Like, no. 40 years. Yeah? 40 years of stories behind this brand. Yeah, if you're starting right now, you need 40, we don't have 40 years, but yeah, they're coming with a lot of background, a lot of actions, a lot of thinking, a lot of failures as well, right? But what's making them very, very strong is they were very clear from the beginning on why they were here. And there's a book from Yvon about, let my people go surfing. I love this book. Very interesting to see how I was thinking about the company from the get-go, right? But the reason why we say we won't turn you into Patagonia is because when you look at Patagonia right now, and even in the past 5 years, the purpose has gone very far. We're in the business of saving our home planet. By the way, when I'm working with brands, if someone comes and says we're here to make the world a better place, I'm telling them, leave the room right now. Yeah? I don't know if you've seen Silicon Valley, the show, HBO show. There's this moment when they do the TechCrunch pitch, and there's like 20 companies coming on the stage and be like, we are here, and they do we are here to save do the world, make the world a better place, all that, no. But when they're saying it, we believe them because they've been around and they've been doing it for so long, now they can actually say this. But we can't say that. We need to be more specific. The other thing we can't do like Patagonia is moving as a company that is selling and building growth, right? Apparels, right? We can't do what they do, which is being very into activist actions, right? Patagonia works, all of those things. They are activist actions, right? That we can't do right now at that level because we are not Patagonia. So I won't tell you to do what Patagonia is doing. But I could tell you, you should look at what they're doing because B Corp, because 1%, because there's some, of course, great stuff and we're talking about this afterwards. But no, we won't turn you into Patagonia. We might go more for other type of companies. First story I want to share with you, if you don't know this company, Ørsted. Who knows Ørsted in the room? Anyone? Ørsted? You can say no, it's fine. Yeah? So, Ørsted is a Danish company, energy company, and historically, they were in fossil energies. Right? Ooh, no. It's fine. If you're in fossil energies, but you need to change right now. So, but at one point the CEO came and he said, if we're not changing the way we operate, in the next 10 years we're going to be dead. Right? And they decided at that point to actually change the way they were operating. And for 12 years, they moved from being a fossil energy company to being one of the leading companies in renewable energies. Amazing. Now, let's talk about the brand. First thing is, they were clear on the changes they wanted to make and the impact they wanted to have, and they shared that. And they were so clear that they stayed on the course for 12 years. They were so clear that now, to inspire all of you guys to tell the story of their brand, they tell the story of their transformation. And they are like, you're telling me you can't change? Really? We changed. Look, we have a white paper. You can read it. You go on the website, it's there. Yeah, we have a white paper. Look at how we changed. This is why we're here. And by the way, we have positive impact on the world. And when that is moving into marketing, I really, really encourage you to look at their campaign, which is all about demand. They go into an activist voice. The CEO, by the way, is going to the UN to do speeches about this. But again, like Patagonia had 12 years of transformation, but what's interesting is to stay on the course for 12 years, they were very clear about why they were here. Another brand that I like is Ben & Jerry's. I remember when I was at Shadow, there was Black Lives Matter, and and as usual on those topics, Ben & Jerry's came out. It was perfect, right? It was perfect because they were clear again on why they were there, right? There was no like wrong moves. There was no like they trying to take the opportunity of this to actually do marketing. It was making sense. It was logical because they knew why they were here. What I love about Ben & Jerry's is the way they have phrased their corporate concept, their mission, right? Linked prosperity. It's very simple. What is Ben & Jerry's about? Amazing ice cream, yes. Yes. But the whole approach is about linked prosperity. And then you start to understand what it means. Like, yeah, we are here to work with the entire ecosystem. We are here to win with you. We have to make sure that everybody's winning, right? And then they managed to transform that very clear corporate concept into 3 pillars. How it works for the product, how it works for the economical approach, how it works for the social approach. So this is more where we want to bring you when we talk about brands, right? Really this sort of structure, this sort of simplicity. Of course, getting to simplicity is complicated, but yes, when you get to that level, it's inspiring. It's moving a company into action. Consistent and coherent action. Now, I've been giving you the vision, the goal. If you're here, probably looking for some tips, you're like, yeah, how do I do that, Rija? So what I'm going to try to do today is I won't give you quick fixes because brand is a very, very not very long, but it's a pretty thorough journey. It's a journey, right? It's a journey that goes from within. So if you're founder of the company, if you know the founder, start with the founder. Usually, what we're trying to showcase is within the guts of the heart of the founders, right? But it's a journey. But there are some pointers that you need to have in mind that can help to actually start the journey. The first thing is creating a good brand platform. So this is what I'm going to share right now. Is not the way we're doing it. First is the whole theory that you can have in mind and can help. So when we say brand platform, when the world says brand, when the experts of brands are saying brand platform, usually that's what they cover. Vision, mission, promise. By the way, mission sometimes is called purpose. Little aparté on this. Mission, purpose, raison d'être, all of that. For me, the word that is the good one, even though I didn't write it on the side, is purpose. It's not translatable in French, by the way. We tried and we call it raison d'être. So reason for being. I hate this expression because it's just like, yeah, this is why I'm here, right? But we're in the world of impact, we're the year of impact. So this is why I'm acting. Right? And purpose in English has this idea of acting, of moving into action. So that's why I prefer purpose, but mission is fine. Anyway, going back to the side, 3 things that you need to start to think about to tell your story in the right way. By the way, telling your story to investors, that works as well, right? Because they love hearing why you're here. Because they've been meeting a lot of companies saying, yeah, I'm going to change the world. And again, yeah, what's really unique? but the emotion is driving an investor to put money into your company as well. So think about that. Vision. The vision is all about, I envision a world where. What I hate about companies that are writing visions is that a lot of times they're writing a vision where they see themselves being successful. Yeah? I'm going to be the leader of my industry in 20 years. I'm going to become a unicorn. It's going to be amazing. Yeah? No. Vision is about the impact you want to have. And then the vision, you need to show me. I need to feel how the world is going to be different and why is this world since you're here. Alright? It doesn't have to be super impact, right? But there's a difference between where you were when you were not here and now that you're here. How is the world going to be different? Describe that. Right? That's important. That's a vision. This is where I start to actually know why I'm working for you. This is why I actually know why I'm waking up every day and I'm pushing this company. And it's crazy, you know, startup life is complicated. I'm not going to teach you that, right? So show me the vision. Second thing is the mission. You have a vision. How do you make this vision a reality? That's your mission. The how, right? How do you approach things? What's your secret sauce? What's going to make you different, right? What you're trying to achieve, and this achievement is going to make the vision a reality, right? And then the last thing is the promise. Right now, what are you doing concretely that's, putting you on this track to make the vision a reality? The concrete things you're bringing to the table to make the vision a reality, right? So that's what you have in the brand platform. Think about that. And if I go on your website, please don't tell me you want to become the leader of your market in 20 years. So, I stop talking. Do I see my mouse? Let's start with this one from Simon.
About how startups work, right? A person or a small group of people have a vision of the business they want to build. They have a vision of the future they want to contribute to. So you got to have that sense of cause. You got to have sense that vision. What's the world that you imagine? That's nothing to do with your business. It's not to be the biggest or be the best, but literally, I imagine a world in which my just cause, my vision is I imagine a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired, feel safe wherever they are, and end the day fulfilled by the work that they do. Now, nowhere in there does it say what I do. I'm telling you the world that I imagine. Now, the business that I've built is I'm betting on leaders. I believe leaders are the best bet that we have to build that world that I imagine. And so my business is about finding, supporting, and celebrating the leaders that I think will build that world. And so the vision should have nothing to do with the funeral home business. It should be about the world that you imagine. And you believe that you can advance that world by being in this business. So one, you need the vision. And now you also need help, right? Because ain't no entrepreneur that can do it by themselves. That's why they have a team of people who trust each other and take care of each other. It's all hands on deck. And so one of the things that we did when we were forced to pivot our business, because we made the vast majority of our income from live events, speeches and workshops. Well, that dried up overnight. And so we were forced to pivot. And so one of the things we did is I brought the team together, told them the vision, reminded them the vision of where I wanted to go, gave them a path. Of course, we had to go into online education of some sort, so did everybody. But I wanted to do it more human because it's on our brand. I wanted to make it more personal. I wanted to do it live. And so what I asked for the team, every single member of the team, they could work in groups if they wanted to, but every single member of the team needed to bring me 15 new ideas each, how we could accomplish this in the next 48 hours. And they all freaked out. So the reason is why 15? Because if I ask for 3 or 4, I'm going to get the same 3 or 4 ideas from everybody. And by the way, those are the same 3 or 4 ideas I already had. Sure. The really good ideas happened at 11, 12, and 13. And we got the whole team together 48 hours later. And I asked everybody to report out. The senior leaders did not get involved because this is not about senior leaders imposing their ideas because there's a dynamic. This is about asking the team to contribute to the advancing of the vision. And I gave a little speech. I said, this is about contribution, not competition. I don't care if one person has 6 amazing ideas and another person has 0. I'm not keeping score. In fact, if one person has 6 amazing ideas, let's all say thank you because they just helped save all of our jobs. Also, the person who has 0 ideas, is probably much better at executing on ideas than the person who came up with them. So I'm actually learning who my idea people are and who my executors are. In other words, this is a team. And I didn't let anybody give the whole list. I asked for 2 or 3 from each. And I enforced strict Boggle rules. If you've ever played Boggle, if somebody has a word and you have the word on your list, you just cross it out. You can't, it's not valid anymore. And so that's what I said. I said, if somebody else said your idea, cross it out. I don't need you to say, I had the same idea as Kenny. Like, whatever. It's not a competition, right? Mm-hmm. And so that got rid of all the repeated ideas. So we didn't have to have the same ideas repeated. Everybody was allowed to build on each other's ideas. And by the time we got to the end, nobody could really claim any idea because we'd added to them. And then what we did is we bucketed the ideas: green, yellow, red. A green idea was one of the ones that we could execute this week. We only needed about a week. We knew what we could do. We had the resources. We could pivot really quickly. Yellow, something we could do probably in 2 or 3 weeks pretty easily. A red idea, no matter how good it was, too much time or too much money, we'll park it somewhere and we'll deal with it who knows when. And then all we did was execute on our green ideas. And we pivoted our whole business in about 2 weeks. It was kind of incredible.
Pretty much what I said was very interesting to see how we describe his own business, but that's important. Vision is not about your business. Vision is not about you. It's about the difference you're trying to make. Impact or no impact, by the way, if you are here and you're like, hey, Rija, I'm not about impact. Even if you're not about impact, your vision is about the difference you're making. Otherwise, it's not a vision. And that's very helpful to actually drive the difference. That's the vision from Decathlon. And by the way, spoiler alert, I love this video.
Le monde change. L'humain évolue et doit s'adapter à son nouvel environnement tout en le protégeant.
Hello, je suis la voix off. Bon alors déjà les violons ça dégage. Non parce que je suis pas ce genre de voix off grave qui donne des leçons. Je suis la voix de Aziz, Aria, Habib, Julia et Clara, qui sont d'ailleurs en train de s'appeler en visio. Clara c'est elle là à gauche, et à droite c'est Julia, son amie d'enfance qui vit à Kiev en Ukraine. Ça fait plusieurs mois qu'elles se sont pas vues mais bon, la notion de distance en 2021 c'est quand même assez relatif. Aujourd'hui, on est tous connectés. Ça permet de garder du lien tout en continuant de mener des projets à bien, même à distance. Si Clara a l'air si contente, c'est qu'elle raconte à sa pote la première leçon de surf qu'elle vient de donner. Elle est née et habite à Biarritz, ce qui est un avantage certain quand on aime le surf. Mais tout le monde n'a pas cette chance. Son pote Cyril, qui travaille chez Decathlon à Hendaye. Ah oui, au fait, c'est le film de la vision Decathlon. Oui, bon, bref. Cyril lui a fourni du matériel et hop, la voilà prof d'un cours de surf ouvert à tous. Maintenant, tout le monde peut découvrir ce sport mythique de la vie locale. Comme quoi, on n'a pas forcément besoin de porter un gilet bleu pour faire avancer les choses. Je suis hyper fière de toi. Ça, c'est ce que Julia vient de dire juste avant d'être interrompue par le mail d'Aria. Aria vit à New Delhi. Elle est ingénieure pour la croissance régénérative chez Decathlon et vous présente en exclu mondial le premier tapis de yoga 100% végétal. D'ailleurs, c'est grâce au yoga que Julia et Aria ont fait connaissance. À Kiev, Julia est prof et développe un nouveau programme en collaboration avec plusieurs médecins qui prescrivent des séances à leurs patients. Aria a été très sensible à cette démarche et a fait de Julia une ambassadrice yoga pour tester et améliorer de nouveaux produits. Sport, santé et produits éco-responsables, la recette du futur. Mais justement, en parlant d'éco-responsabilité, direction l'Inde et retour sur Aria. Les personnes avec elle sont aussi ingénieurs, mais pas chez Decathlon. Eh ouais, chez d'autres marques de sport. Des concurrents devenus partenaires, unis autour du sport pour sourcer et développer de nouvelles matières premières 100% végétales et régénératives. Comme le fameux tapis de yoga. Ah, la nouvelle vidéo Tomorrow vient de sortir. Tomorrow, c'est un nouveau média indépendant et responsable. Chaque semaine, il présente une personne qui tente de faire bouger les choses. Et aujourd'hui, c'est au tour d'Habib, fonctionnaire à la mairie de Casablanca. Il travaille avec les équipes de Decathlon à Casablanca pour créer une appli de partage de vélos entre particuliers. Ça fait tourner l'économie de fonctionnalité, ça permet aussi aux gens de se mettre au sport. Et bah ouais, hein, dans le transport, il y a aussi le mot sport. Là, le mec qui défend ce pauvre sac de frappe, c'est Aziz. L'histoire a commencé dans les vestiaires du club de boxe où Aziz s'entraîne. Eux, c'est Camille et Maxime. Ils veulent lancer un service de location de matériel à l'année pour les salles de sport. Donc Aziz en touche 2 mots à des collègues et oriente les 2 jeunes entrepreneurs vers un investisseur. Là, tout s'emballe et quelques semaines plus tard, Maxime et Camille se retrouvent installés directement chez Decathlon grâce à Aziz qui les accompagne dans leur aventure. Ça, c'est de l'inclusion express. Et aujourd'hui, ils commencent à équiper leurs abonnés avec du matériel neuf Decat. Et c'est évidemment avec leur club de boxe qu'ils ont signé le premier contrat. Aziz, Aria, Habib, Clara et Julia sont 5 histoires parmi tant d'autres. Bon, qu'est-ce qu'on avait dit avec les violons? Ces 5 histoires illustrent la vision Décathlon. Une série d'actions quotidiennes, indépendantes, mais interconnectées qui nous permet d'être utiles aux gens et à leur planète. Décathlon Vision, parce que demain commence aujourd'hui.
Decathlon Vision, by the way. I'd rather play the French version because I prefer the voice in French, but there's an English version if you want. I feel the French version is better. There's more, the emotion is right. I'm just saying, for this one. Sometimes it's better in English, but this one is better in French. But what's interesting is how they are presenting their vision. So you can see the world in the future. And they manage, when you look at the future, they manage to actually integrate what they're doing and what they're doing to make this future a reality. From now to actually in this future. And you have a clear vision, yes? They have a clear vision on their vision, right? And their impact. And that is creating this desire as a consumer, as a partner, as an investor, as a recruit, right? To be working with them, right? That's what a vision is about. Another example, so you have a bit of writing, because writing is better. Airbnb, very clear. The vision is, we imagine a world where anyone can belong anywhere. Very simple, you can remember it. The key concept is belonging anywhere. By the way, it became the signature. Belong anywhere, right? You see the difference. Before, when we're traveling around, what we're doing, we're like tourists, and we're going to a place that was foreign to us, and we're only going to a hotel and being like people, locals are looking at us like, oh, you're not from here, yeah? The whole point is to say, oh yeah, where you going? It's like home. The mission is enabling people to live like locals and feel home anywhere in the world, instead of just traveling to it. So, my mission is, how do I work on making my vision a reality as a company? I'm doing this. 2 key things. Live like locals, right? And feel home anywhere, instead of just traveling to it. Very interesting. Last thing is what am I doing completely to make that a reality, to go start making that a reality? I'm bringing an online platform that connects people to unique homes and travel experiences, and with their local hosts. This is where I'm starting to talk about my business, right? But there's 2 things before I can say about why I'm here and how I'm making things differently than others. I am a travel and accommodation company, but the way I'm approaching my business, the way I'm approaching my industry is by enabling people to live like locals and feel home anywhere in the world. That's not what Accor is going to say, people, and I worked for Accor for 2 years. So I can tell you they're not saying this. And what's interesting is, they were so clear about this mission that they started to go beyond just connecting you with hosts and homes. They're like, yeah, of course, if you want to live like a local, if you want to belong anywhere, the first thing you want to do is not to live in a house that is actually like a local. You want to know this bar when someone's going to say, hey, Mika, how you doing? Good to see you again. Yeah? You want to do experiences like no one else, like if you are a local. You want to know this bar, you want to know this museum, you want to know this place, yeah? This beach no one knows. Yeah, you want that, you want experiences. You want connection. You want connection with the host. The experience is done with hosts, with people that are locals. You don't want the guy who's like, yeah, nice, follow the guys. Oh, no, you want the connection. So that was for brand platform. Now we talk about values. So you can't read that, and that's normal, because that's usually the words that people are using when they're creating values for the company. We're this innovative company, an empathetic company, we are a caring company, we are whatever, words, right? But what we love at Will & Rose is to stop using words, to start creating values that are actionable. How do you do that? You transform them into guiding principles. Because a word, one word, we're a caring brand, doesn't say enough. It's not specific enough. I won't know how to act against that. The iconic example, so yes, I worked for Google for 5 years, so I'm using Google. By the way, that's gone from Google, yeah, so no judgment, just saying. But yeah, one of the guiding principles of Google back then was don't be evil. When you say don't be, yeah, saying some frowns in the room, but don't be evil. When someone was telling me don't be evil, I could actually picture the way I should be behaving. Actually not behaving, right? So that's usually the examples people are using when they talk about guiding principles. Going back to Airbnb, if you go on the jobs website of Airbnb, you see the values. There are 4, and actually they are all written in sentences. So champion the mission, be a host, embrace the adventure, and be a serial entrepreneur. I'm going to be focusing on this one because this one is amazing, right? It's an actual guiding principle that only Airbnb can say. When they're saying be a serial entrepreneur, probably you won't get it, and it's fine. Yeah, they will explain. The reason why they're saying be a serial entrepreneur is coming from a story from their time. You know it probably. So in 2008, Airbnb was close to bankruptcy, and they were starting to brainstorm about solutions to actually make a bit of money to survive. And they were generating crazy ideas in that brainstorming. One of the ideas that came up was the primary time in the US. One of the idea was let's create serials for each candidate in the primary. And actually they're like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So they created the serials. They sold it, and they used that money to actually survive. And this is the spirit they want people in the company to keep, right? Even in hard times, right? Behave like a serial entrepreneur, yeah? And of course, Patagonia, going back, very interesting to look at their values. You can look at them afterwards, but again, it's a combination of sentences and paragraphs actually explain how to behave and then how to act. What's important is, right now, when you think about brand strategy and branding, there is a change of paradigm. When I was doing branding in the beginning of my career, it was the time of love brands. They were here to create a brand. People will be like, yeah, I want it. I want, please, I want some. I want the words that everybody recognize me and I'm so cool. Yeah? Okay? So it was about loving. It was about telling the story of what I was doing right now. It was in the now. I want people to love what I'm doing right now. I'm saying sneakers, they're amazing, buy them. Yeah? The change of paradigm that I'm seeing in the past 5 years, and we call it becoming future-proof brands, is now you are in the now and you're in the future. When I'm telling the story about my brand, I need to project you in what I'm doing right now to make a difference. That's a big change, because when I'm talking to even big marketers, they look at me like, no, I don't want to say something if I'm not doing it. I'm like, you need to say something if you want to do it. Because there's no miracle solution in what we're trying to do right now, okay? We need to share what we're planning to do. We need to share our failures. We need to share our direction so that we inspire each other to move forward. That's a big change. You're going to tell the story about what you're doing right now. You're going to tell the story of where you want to go, the vision. You're going to tell the stories about your pillars you are going to put into action to actually make a difference. I'm going to move because I'm seeing the time. Yeah. And that's interesting. For example, Aigle, one of the brands we're working with, they talk about what they do with their clothes, but then they share, for instance, their objectives. That's one way you can do the website is about more than that. But it's interesting that they talk about both. They talk about progress over perfection. So they need to tell you how they're moving forward, right? And that's part of their brand. So we don't need love brands, we do need future-proof brands. Very quickly to end the presentation, the way we're approaching it at We Don't Need Roads, creating future-proof brands, is we have a framework that we call Create to Act. The framework is coming from everything we've learned from our past years, 5 years, in brand building excellence from the big companies, and everything we've seen from the impact world. Raison d'être, mission companies, purpose-driven, all of that, right? And you bring all that together to create a framework. This is the framework. And I've shown you a brand platform. This is how we do creating a spin to the brand platform. The first thing is the brand vision, which is still about, I envision a world where the way we're writing it is always put into context with what you're seeing out of your window. Because the reason why you wake up in the morning and you want to make a difference is probably because you look outside your window and there's something that's bothering you right now. If you're creating both, you strengthen that vision. Second thing is purpose. I told you that's the word I prefer. That is actually reason for acting. Third thing, and that's where the change of paradigm is important, is we move from promise, what I'm doing right now, to engagement pillars, what I'm doing right now, what I'm planning to do in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 15 years, to actually make a difference and an impact. Be a better company as well. Either being a positive solution or a company that's trying to reduce their impact. Share that. Share the journey. The last thing is, as I was saying, guiding principles to know who you are and how you're acting. And then last thing about us, it's a journey, as I said, it's a journey that's within you, right? Within your founders, within everybody's making the company. So when you think about your brand, that's why I'm sharing this. Yes, we work in a co-branding methodology, but even when you think about this, it's not someone that's going to tell you, this is your brand. Yes. No, this is something that's coming from you. A lot of time it's a collective journey. They need to do together. And the value and the creation comes from the start. The discussion you're having, the debate, the disagreement. Hear them, think about them. There's something in that that you need to then encapsulate in your brand. Yes? And then share that story. 48. So thank you for listening. I hope you liked the presentation. Thanks for your attention.